The holidays are busy. Between shopping, family gatherings, choosing gifts, wrapping gifts, it's no wonder we figure we have to put our health and our food choices on the back burner until January. But what if you actually didn't need more time during the holidays? What if all you needed was a simple plan that fits your life? You know, your real life, the one with work, family, and a mountain of wrapping paper and gifts? That's what we're diving into today. Welcome to the Biking Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Smith, and I lost 50 pounds riding my bike by focusing on what my body can do. Now, I teach other women how to do the same. I am obsessed with completely flipping the script on weight loss so that we can work out to feel good and feel strong. If you are ready to stop dieting, learn how to appreciate your body, and have fun riding your bike, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so happy that you're here. If you are just joining us for the very first time, a special warm welcome to you. Welcome to the Biking Wellness community. You are absolutely going to love it here. Today, I am so excited to talk to you about what you really need during the holiday season in order to make progress with your health, with your wellness, and your weight loss goals. We all think that we need more time. We all think that we are so busy, but here's the thing, and I'm just diving right in. You do not need more time. You really, truly don't. The reason why most of us don't make any progress during the holidays isn't because we're lazy or because we're unmotivated. It's because we are trying to fit someone else's ridiculous and unrealistic plan into our lives. We think that if we want to lose weight, if we want to stay active during the holiday season, that we have to do every single thing perfectly and that we have to do all of the things. But here's the thing, if I seriously had $1 for every single time I told myself I'll start when things calm down, I'd literally have enough money to buy every single Reese's peanut butter tree in the store, which, my goodness, those are my favorite. I think I've talked about loving Reese's peanut butter bats or pumpkins. I think you probably are sensing there's a theme here. But here's the thing. The truth is that life is busy. Life is going to be busy during the holiday season. Life is going to be busy after. The holidays aren't going to just kind of magically get easier unless you plan for it. So your schedule isn't just going to magically open up. But what will change everything is when you stop waiting for more time and hoping for more time and just kind of sitting back and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I have so many events. I have so much wrapping. I have so much shopping to do. I don't know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. Well, when you stop doing that and when you start kind of creating a realistic plan that fits inside your current reality, whatever that reality might be, that is when you can actually make progress. Now, if you tend to be in the habit of just putting everything on the back burner until January, 100%, my friend, I have absolutely been there. I cannot tell you how many times I would be, so focused on movement during the fall, and I would get into this routine. I was back to work and I was walking the dog after school, or I was riding my bike regularly, making sure that I got a couple hours on the bike in every week. And then the weather started to change. So this is like the double whammy for those of us who like to ride bikes. Not only does the weather get colder, but we also get a lot busier. And all of a sudden, we just find ourselves not moving our bodies and thinking, okay, well, the holidays are coming and I just can't deal right now, so I will start again in January. Tell me if this is familiar, because when you try to start riding your bike again in January, you are trying to transition after the holidays into indoor riding or into freezing cold riding. If you are living in the part of the world that I'm living in, riding outside in January is something that the crazy people do. My husband does it. There are definitely people who do it. I am the Goldilocks of cycling temperatures. I do not ride outside in January. Bless you if you can. If you can motivate yourself to get on your bike outside in January, my goodness. So that tends to be the option, or it tends to be indoor riding. I had my bike set up on a trainer. I had Zwift going or Trainer Road. And again, trying to motivate to do that in January. Okay, I'll just be super honest. There were so many years where I didn't even start till March, where my holiday busy season of staying off the bike and making not the greatest food choices would actually go all the way into the spring because I just was that unmotivated to ride. And I was just so out of the habit of moving my body. So here's the thing. We don't need to do everything during the holidays or ever, honestly. We just need to be in the habit of moving our bodies consistently and checking in with ourselves and seeing what we need in terms of food. When we keep it that simple and that realistic, that is something that can work in the life that you have right now. So we don't need more time. What we need is more intentionality. So here's the shift that I want you to be considering during the holiday season. I want you to kind of spend a couple of minutes thinking about what success actually means to you during the holidays in terms of food and food choices. Now, we've talked about this a little bit, but I really want to dive into it here. Progress does not need to be perfection. Progress does not need to be perfect. It can be maintaining your weight during the holiday season. It can mean I'm just going to stay consistent with moving my body in some way, somehow, during the holiday season. It can mean I am just going to eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm satisfied, stop when I've had enough food. I'm not going to let the holidays become this time of year where I am constantly overeating to the point where I feel physically ill. That, my friend, honestly, will go so far in terms of you staying consistent during the holiday season. Even just one of those things, if you get in the habit of doing it, is going to make you feel so much better about the holidays. We have a tendency to think, I need to do it all perfectly. I need to do it all right. I need to eat all of the healthy food. I need to not overeat. I need to ride my bike X number of miles a week or X number of times a week. I need to strength train on top of that. It all has to be perfect. Otherwise, I am not making progress. But what if we reframed this a little bit and we thought about, okay, what is it that I really need to feel good in my body every day? What if it just means, like I said, I'm not eating until the point where I have to unbutton my pants after every single party or every single family gathering? Or, maybe I just want to finish the season feeling strong instead of feeling like I have to start over in January and then being so overwhelmed that I give up until March or just indefinitely. So here are some examples of some really kind of straightforward and basic things that you can do. Like, for example, one of my biggest ways of getting in movement lately has been figuring out a way for me to move when my son is at baseball lessons. So when he goes to baseball lessons on Wednesdays, I've scheduled my personal training appointment for the same time. I don't know how in the world this happened, but they actually are both in the same building. So I drop my son off at the back of the building for his baseball lessons, and I go around, actually drive around to the front. Of course, I could walk around, but it's a big building and both of our lessons are starting at the same time. So I drive around to the front and I do my personal training while my son is at baseball lessons. And then on Saturdays, when he's at his kind of strength and conditioning session, then I go for a walk on what my friend Caroline has dubbed the sad bike path. Because I'm telling you, first of all, this bike path is not a bike path. It is a walk path. I don't know who called it a bike path, but I think it's maybe 2 miles long, maybe. You can't really ride on this thing for any considerable amount of time unless you're doing just back and forth laps. So I just go for a walk on that. I mean, it's kind of in an industrial location, so you're just kind of walking between industrial buildings. There are trees and such, and I focus on that, but it's not the most amazing bike path in the world. I'll just be super upfront and honest with you. but it is a place where I can move. It is so nice to just get out there. These are 20-minute walks, my friends. That's just about it. That's all I can really fit in because I need, 5 minutes to pick up my son from his lesson, 5 minutes. On the other end, it's only a half hour. But it feels so incredibly good to just move my body during that time. Something else you can do something as simple as I'm only going to have 2 glasses of wine at this party instead of 3. I'm going to swap that extra glass of wine for maybe a little bit more sleep. Because I'm telling you, when you get to be of a certain age, and I'm guessing that you are feeling this to some degree as well, that extra glass of wine can be the difference between you sleeping or not. I mean, even if I only have 1 glass of wine, especially if it's red wine, I can basically kiss sleep for that evening goodbye. And sometimes I just don't want to do that anymore. So that's something that I'm more mindful about during the holidays and all of the time. Also, the other thing that you can do is you can actually eat the foods that you love during the holiday season, but just be intentional about which ones really satisfy you. And I know that we talked about this last week in the food choices episode. If you haven't listened to that one, oh my goodness, make sure that you check it out. But the idea is that when you are intentional about your food choices, when you put your food on a plate, you are just so much more mindful of what you're eating. And then you're only eating the things that you actually want. I actually did this last night at a family gathering. I had a little plate, and the snacks before dinner, I just put them on my little plate and I ate off of the little plate. It made me so much more aware of how many times I was sticking my hand into the Chex Mix bowl and grabbing a scoop and putting it on my plate. And that helped me to be comfortable through the evening and not overeat. So each of these little things, it might not seem like you're doing everything right, but it is you staying in the habit of keeping your mind and your body focused on what really is important to you and what really matters during the holiday season. Okay, so let's talk about this simple plan. This is kind of the heartbeat of the episode here. So if you're multitasking, my friend, please come back to me and listen up. This is how you're going to build a holiday routine that actually works for you. It's going to be a really simple framework for creating your own "this is what fits my life right now" plan. And the first thing that I want you to think about is, what are your non-negotiables going to be? In other words, when you're having the crazy pants day, when you are running from this place to that place, when you have 8,000 parties, it seems like, during a week, and you're trying to figure out, what is my minimum baseline? What are the non-negotiable things that I am going to do? What are 1 or 2 things that you can realistically stick to each week? Maybe you're saying my minimum baseline is going to be 2 bouts of movement each week. I'm going to be, again, really honest with you. Last week, I moved my body twice. I did those 2 things during my son's baseball lessons, and that was pretty much it, other than my daily movement, my chores, and those sorts of things. But in terms of formal, like, this is my activity time, I did 1 strength workout and 2 quick walks, 2 relatively quick short walks. I did a 15-minute walk with my son after his baseball lesson, and then I did my own 20-minute walk. That's the only formal, quote-unquote, movement that I did last week. And that felt great, honestly. Given the week that I had, that's what made sense to me. So maybe you have 2 movement efforts during the week. Maybe you are going to say, you know what, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes a day. I'm going to get outside and I'm going to walk outside no matter what the weather for 10 minutes a day. That sounds terrible to me, honestly. I hate walking in the rain. But maybe it's just 10 minutes of movement. Maybe it's, you're going to do a 10-minute indoor ride every day, or a 10-minute walk, a 10-minute something every day, or a 10-minute something 5 days a week. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I'm giving you all of these examples to get you to start thinking outside of the box about what is possible for you. Maybe it's just, I am going to get my 64 ounces of water in every day. That is my minimum baseline. I know that that is something that I can do for myself to keep my health first and foremost during the holiday season, to do something for me. Maybe you keep that glass of water on your nightstand and you drink that glass of water every single morning before you get out of bed just to start your day right. It's such a simple, easy, doable thing that you can do to start your day doing something intentional for your health. The next thing that I want you to be kind of considering with your plan is make sure that you just adjust your expectations of what is possible. So if you can't do your normal bike ride, however long or however many miles that might be for you, maybe you could do half of that. Maybe that's something that you can fit in. Maybe you can do some dancing in the kitchen. I did that the other night. And I have to tell you, I am foolish probably when I dance. I have zero rhythm. I used to be embarrassed to even dance in front of my family. And I have gotten over that. I have reframed dancing to this is something that I do that feels good and helps me move my body. And I do not care who's watching. I do not care how silly it looks. I'm just going to do it. And that's been huge for me because that is a way that I can fit more movement in. All movement counts, literally all of it. The next thing that I want you to think about with your plan is I really want you to be celebrating consistency and celebrating starting again. So let me explain to you what those two things are. Consistency, I think you know, is when you're kind of being regular about something. Like maybe it's drinking that 64 ounces of water every day or close to it. And you're really, really consistent with that. Maybe you do calf raises while you brush your teeth every single day and you're really, really consistent with that. That is something that you should really be celebrating and that you should feel really good about. I'm not saying beat yourself up if you miss a day or here, but I'm saying feel good about the fact that you're doing a really good job, that you're doing something for you. And the other thing that I'm saying here is for you to get really good at starting again. Instead of, oh my gosh, I missed a day of water. I might as well never drink water ever again. Or, oh my gosh, I only got one bike ride in last week. I might as well not even bother this week. Instead of thinking about things that way, I want you to think about the idea of it's okay. So I missed my goal last week. I didn't even meet my minimum baseline last week. And that's okay. I'm going to start again. Because the thing that is way more important than consistency is getting good at starting again, getting good at starting over, getting good at, oh, you know what? It didn't work out last week. That's fine. Today's going to be different. This week's going to be different. I'm going to make a plan this week for my food. I'm going to make a plan this week for my movement. There are so many times in my life where I have just thrown everything out the window and basically been like, F it. I can't do this. I'm just going to eat all of the things because I felt like I screwed up and I felt like I was just not able to rebound. And here's the thing. This is me, your coach in your corner, telling you that you do not need to be perfect. You do not even need to be consistent. All you need to do is be willing to start again. The only difference between the woman who meets her goals, between the woman who loses weight, between the woman who learns how to feel strong, between the woman who feels really confident and comfortable in her own skin, in her clothes, and the woman who doesn't, is that the woman who does any or all of those things just doesn't give up. She just keeps trying again. She tries something different. She reminds herself that she was doing exactly what she needed to do to get through the day. And now this is an opportunity to do something a little bit different. Starting now, my friend, changes everything. Momentum comes from doing the thing. It comes from action. And the holidays, believe it or not, are the best time to start. Because this is the time when you really think that you don't have enough time. And I promise you that you do. You don't need a lot of time. You don't need to put a ton of energy into making progress with your strength training, with your bike rides, with your weight loss. If you can learn how to get good at starting again, how to start being consistent with one small, tiny little thing, even if it's not drinking 64 ounces of water, maybe it's drinking just one more ounce of water today than you drank yesterday. What's one small thing you can do today that will bring you a little bit closer to your goals, that will make today just a little bit better than yesterday? That is why you can make progress. When you do those things, when you start over and over again, you will make progress towards your goals. When you start now, when you're this busy, you are proving to yourself that you can make time for you, that you can make time for your health, even when everything else is going on. Because here's the thing, you cannot take care of everyone else and every other thing if you aren't taking care of yourself first. silly little side note here, but I think it's really relevant to this conversation. Yesterday, I started cleaning up my wrapping paper area. I don't really even have any gifts yet, maybe a couple, but I knew that I didn't want to go into this holiday season with a big, huge wrapping paper area mess. My wrapping paper area is embarrassing in terms of how messy it is, in terms of how disorganized it is, the mountain of things that are piled on the table that I wrap in. And just to be super clear, this is not any kind of Instagram fancy wrapping paper area. This is a table in the basement right up against a gray basement wall that has a couple of bins of wrapping paper and other accoutrements next to it. And it was just overflowing. Every single bin, there was legitimately receipts and trash from last holiday season. I was like, you know what? That's not how I want to start my holiday season this year. I love wrapping gifts, and I want to spend my time, cleaning up this area so that when I go down to wrap gifts throughout the holiday season, it's kind of a calm and relaxing thing for me. It's something that I can enjoy. So spending just a tiny little bit of time organizing this area, I think collectively it may take me an hour between the past couple of days, just spending this tiny little bit of time organizing this area has done so much for me in terms of helping me to stay consistent. And I know this is a bit of a stretch, but I know that that's actually going to help me stay consistent with movement too, for two reasons. One is because my Peloton's down there, and when I go down there, I don't have to look at a big mess, but also because I'm already starting off the holiday season in the habit of doing something that I know is going to work really well for me. Okay? So I know that you can do this. From the bottom of my heart, I know this is possible for you. And I have a little bit of a challenge for you this week. I want you to look at your week ahead, and I want you to ask yourself, what do you think that you can realistically do? Do you think maybe you can get one bike ride in? Do you think maybe you can go for one walk or two walks? Maybe you're going to say, all right, I'm going to have one cookie, not two, after my snack this week or for my snack this week. Whatever it is, I want you to do it. And then I want you to celebrate the heck out of it. I want you to feel really, really good about it. And if you are ready for a little extra help creating this plan that fits your life, if you're kind of thinking, Stacy, I really want to do this, but I really just need more guidance. I really just don't know how. And you want to actually have me right there with you every step of the way, I'd love to have you join me inside my special coaching program, Lose 6 Pounds in 6 Weeks. It is 6 weeks of personalized coaching, personalized accountability. It will be just for you, and it will include a plan that actually works for you and for your life, not against it. If you are interested in any way, go ahead and take a look at the link. I will put it in the show description. You can see what's involved, or you can just email me at stacy@sassy.com. That's STACY@SASCY.com, and I will be happy to forward you all of the details. I hope that this episode resonated with you. I hope that you are able to take something away from it that will help you through the holiday season. And I really just can't wait to be with you again next week. Talk soon. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Biking Wellness Podcast. Be sure to head on over to sassy.com/guide, SASCY.com/guide, to get my completely free Lose Weight Biking Quick Start Guide so that you can get started with simple, doable weight loss today. That's SASCY.com/guide.